Good afternoon. Time is 4:29 p.m. I'd like to call to order the April meeting of the Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Sumter, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Collier Clemens, and Mayor Rilling. The first.
You're on mute, Mayor.
Well, let's try that again. It's 4:29, call to order the April meeting of the Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Sumter, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Collier Clemens, and Mayor Rilling. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of March 18th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
You have a motion, approval of the minutes.
Are there any
2024.
Are there any corrections, deletions, omissions?
I have none, Mayor.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Only,
I'm sorry.
Mayor, I
Yes.
said I saw only I don't know if you considered it a correction, but on page 4,
Okay.
there's a word correction in that last paragraph. Chief Waltz reported on the accreditation and said that the CALEA yearly inspection, and then the next word, I don't think it's probably supposed to be was, said WAD.
Which
Item, page 4,
Yep,
Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners,
yep, I got that.
and that last paragraph before personal matters.
Yep, okay.
Chief Walsh on the accreditation and said that the CALEA yearly inspection, and then
Oh, yeah.
the word
Is- It's supposed to be was.
was, yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Any other corrections? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as corrected?
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Commissioner Collier Clemens abstains. The motion carries. Next item is public comment. Do we have anybody wishing to address the commission?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay. Close public session. Next item is recognition, Officer of the Month, March. Chief?
Yes, Mayor Rilling, Police Commission. For March 2024, Officers of the Month are Officer Stephen Koff and Officer Erwin Reyes. On March 31st, 2024, during 2nd Platoon, Field Training Officer Stephen Koff with his recruit trainee Officer Erwin Reyes were performing proactive patrol in the area of West Cedar Street when they witnessed a vehicle traveling north on West Cedar Street. When the vehicle passed, they observed that the operator had an unsecured infant sitting on his lap. Officer Koff and Officer Reyes initiated a motor vehicle stop based on the very dangerous situation of the infant sitting on the driver's lap. During the encounter with the driver, Officer Koff requested K-9 Officer Arvin Takis for a vehicle search based on suspicion that was developed during the stop. Information was also gathered that the driver, Noad Rodriguez, had a criminal history involving narcotics and firearms. Officer Arvin Takis, Police Service Dog Cato, alerted a positive indication for the presence of contraband inside the vehicle. Officer Arvanatakis began to search the vehicle, where he discovered a loaded 6-hour P365 firearm in a compartment on the driver's side kneeboard, fully accessible to the operator and in the general vicinity of the infant. The operator was prohibited from possessing such firearm. Officers also located a large amount of marijuana that was packaged for sale. Noad Rodriguez was arrested for numerous firearms charges, narcotics charges, risk of injury to a minor, and motor vehicle charges, and held on a $250,000 bond. Due to the proactive policing and keen observation skills of Officer Stephen Koff and Officer Erwin Reyes, they averted a very dangerous situation by intervening for the infant's safety. In doing so, they also apprehended an armed individual with a loaded firearm, and it was in possession of a large amount of contraband. I recommended Officer Stephen Koff and awarded both of them officers and Officer Erwin Reyes Officer of the Month for March 2024. Officer Reyes is just finishing his field training this week. He graduated the academy approximately 14 weeks ago. And Officer Stephen Koff has been one of his field training officers on his cycle, and he's been very successful in his field training.
Another example of good police work, taking action when you saw something that could be problematic. Congratulations to certainly Officer Kauf. Kauf, is it Kauf or Kauf? Okay. I'll say Kauf. Is that or Kauf? Okay. But also Officer Reyes, you're starting off on the right foot. Brand new
Absolutely.
officer, and you've already been recommended for Officer of the Month. I don't know if that set a record, but it very well may have. But anyway, thank you both for the fine work that you've done, and that one stop. You know, they've always said that most arrests for firearms and narcotics take place, they begin with a motor vehicle stop. And I think that kind of holds true. And so the importance of enforcing our laws and making these keen observations is obvious. So congratulations, commissioners. Comments?
Well, I
Okay,
just want to, go ahead.
go right ahead.
I just want to congratulate both officers, the field training officer and also our new Officer Reyes, for, getting that instinct and knowing that that was a dangerous situation for the child, and being concerned about the endangerment of an infant led to all of these other undisclosed offenses. And thank you so much for putting into action what you've learned.
I'd too like to just congratulate both officers for a job well done and for the good training that the younger officer received with respect to Officer Stephen Koff to be able to start the job off on such a great foot. And I wish you well during your time as a police officer for the city of Norwalk, and continue the great work that you've been doing, Officer Stephen Koff.
I too want to commend both Officer Kauf and Officer Reyes for a job well done. We have one less criminal in the streets, and so it's actually a remarkable thing to see in action. The proactive and quick thinking and systematic, and I'm sure it's because of the training, and it's awesome to see that we have a trainee involved as well. That clearly indicates the department's real commitment to real training and having a teamwork as they were able to execute what they needed to do. Thank you both.
I know it's not within the scope of the award for the Officer of the Month, but what happened to the infant? You're muted.
Is it working now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The infant was actually, the mother was, unbeknownst to her, had no idea of the firearm that was in the vehicle.
Wow.
She and another person who happened to know them came by with an infant seat. We installed the seat in the vehicle, and we felt that, we could kind of tell the mother had no idea what was going on, that we released the child to the mother, but still alerted Department of Children and Families of that.
Thank you.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
job. Good job. Okay. Thank you. And I know there's another award here, Chief.
Yes, Mayor, this one's for a civilian recognition of one of our telecommunicators, Vanessa Barrett. On Wednesday, March 7, 2024 at 5:10 a.m., Norwalk Police Department telecommunicator Vanessa Barrett received a 911 call of an unconscious male. Barrett obtained pertinent information from the distraught caller and instructed the caller to place the phone closer to the victim's face. Barrett was able to hear the victim's agonal breathing and accurately recognize the dangerous condition. Knowing that there was no time to lose, Barrett then instructed the caller on how to perform CPR and constantly guided the caller until the arrival of emergency response units, who then continued medical care. The dispatch tapes were reviewed upon the incident and was impressed at how well telecommunicator Barrett was able to calm the distraught caller, guide the caller on CPR instructions, and continually refocus the caller in what sounded like a chaotic scene based on the background noise and commotion. Barrett performed her duties with excellence consistent with her training at an elevated standards synonymous with the quality service provided by this agency. She was recently awarded with a civilian recognition for her work that day. It was presented today. And as part of also, we are recognizing all the telecommunicators in NOAA Combined Dispatch as it is Telecommunicator Week, Appreciation Week.
Wow. Great. She's not with us?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay.
That was an amazing job. Again, just another fine example of the professionalism, the training, the experience of our police department, the ability to remain calm and give instructions over the phone. It can't be easy, especially when somebody on the other end is distraught and upset, and fearing that somebody close to them may be in peril. So again, thank you on behalf of the commission. Commissioners, any comments?
Yes, I'd just like to commend her for being able to learn everything that she needed and to be able to implement it in a situation like that, because she knew from hearing the breathing that it was a life or death situation and was able to remain calm, to instruct, and to keep the victim alive until medical help came, the EMS. So kudos to Vanessa Barrett.
Stellar performance by telecommunicator Vanessa Barrett for sure. She did everything and had everything under control. It seems that she was able to calm the situation and achieve the outcome that was achieved. And so she definitely should be commended, and really proud of her. And she definitely should be added to the honor roll plaque.
Is she a veteran, a telecommunicator, or is she relatively new? Does anyone know?
Deputy Chief Blake would probably.
She's probably, I believe she's been here for approximately 3 years, maybe going on her 4th year. We were fortunate to hire her away from another Connecticut department. So she has
okay.
experience, and she's been excellent since she's been here.
Wow, that's great.
Commissioner Sumter, I think
Great
you're on
coach.
mute.
I
We
too
still-
would like
we
to
still fall
commend
for
her
that.
Job well done. And it just shows the kind of training that goes along with having the job and then continuing her due diligence over the years that she's been a part of the department and that communication team. Okay.
Okay. Once again, congratulations to Dispatcher Barrett. Next item on the agenda is operations report, Deputy Chief Blake.
Mayor and Commissioners, good afternoon. For the end of March, we had 182 sworn personnel with no vacancies. 169 sick days were used, and 36 workers' comp days were used, as we still have one officer on long-term disability and some others that were suffering from some short-term disability. Detective Bureau opened 33 cases in the month of March. They made arrests on an armed robber via warrant, and they also arrested an individual who was charged with a plethora of firearms violations for attempting to manufacture not only firearms but bombs as well at his residence. It was an older case. The individual has been in jail since then, since the original investigation that dated back several months, but they served this warrant on him recently. Special Services opened up 44 cases in March. They executed a search warrant at the extended stay and arrested a suspect on numerous narcotics charges. And they also executed a search warrant at the smokehouse and made an arrest there for an individual selling large amounts of marijuana from that particular location that is not a licensed vendor.
Just a quick question. I saw in the paper that the Connecticut Avenue one, is that the same one that you're talking to here?
Yes, Mayor.
That's been several times, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
There was, going back to my day, there was a statute about a nuisance, a public nuisance. Is that something that might apply to this?
Mayor, our investigators have met with the state's attorney's office in that regard, and as well as the property owner, who is not the individual on the lease. So we're working towards putting a final end to this particular establishment and the businesses they're conducting there.
Good, perfect. Thank you.
Special victims opened 70 cases in March, the majority of which were related to our school resource officers. They arrested a suspect via warrant for sexual assault on a minor and risk of injury to a minor. Our public safety cadet program continues on a weekly basis, and our DARE instruction remains ongoing in our schools. In regards to our SE report, in the month of March, we had 651 stops, and the various citations are issued there. Again, it's a substantial increase from last year at this time. And we will continue to be very proactive in our motor vehicle enforcement within the city. Oh, my pages are out of order. I apologize. We had 420 criminal arrests in the month of March. That number may seem high to you. There was an individual that had well over 100+ counts of credit card theft and identity theft. So that's what drove that particular number so high for the month of March. 6,096 calls per service, patrol calls per service. Again, with the second platoon being the busiest shift. And again, apologies for going out of order. Any questions?
Yeah, I think we can get along with that. We're
Well, I'm confused. No, I'm not.
Oh,
In February, just a question, just an observation. We had 260 events of traveling too fast. Was that due to a grant that we had at that time?
We had an uptick in our ability to go out and run speed enforcement, and we had multiple like elongated shifts to do that. And the officers, our traffic officers specifically, really focused their efforts on speed and lowering speeds throughout the city. So that's where that high number comes into effect. You know, as for instance, this month that we're currently in April, we are focused pretty heavily on distracted driving. So that's what drove that number so high in February.
Well, it worked because in March it really did drop.
Not for lack of trying.
Thank you.
hey, any further comments or questions on that?
I just have an observation myself with regard to how the police department is ran with regard to platoons. It brings me right back to the military, and I could see the correlation and the parallel between how police departments are ran compared to how, as a soldier, I was part of a platoon. So it's so similar, and it's a good thing.
Same terminology for sure.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the March training report. Deputy Chief Dinho.
Mr. Mayor, good afternoon, honorable police commissioners. We have for the month of March, we had major events in the city of Norwalk. We had the Norwalk St. Patrick's Day Parade. We assisted the Stamford Police Department with their St. Patrick's Day Parade in the city of Stamford. We also attended a Chinese New Year celebration at the Belden Avenue Library, where the Chinese ambassador was present. We had a lunch at the Rowayton Elementary School, a chess event at the Carver Center, and Sono Beer Garden Race Escort, and another commercial truck enforcement with partnership with the Connecticut DMV Police, a Boy Scout science class, the Norwalk Easter egg hunt, and an Easter egg hunt at the Word Alive Church. Just to piggyback a little bit on the traffic unit, for the month of March, they had a total of 487 stops for the traffic unit out of community policing. We did selective enforcement at 101 locations, but the main ones are Main Avenue, West Rocks, East Avenue, Winfield Street, Fox Run Road, Soundview Avenue at Cliff Street, Grist Mill, Calf Pasture as always, and West Norwalk Road. And again, these are generated, we choose them from data were received from the crash repository at UConn based on traffic accidents in Norwalk and from resident complaints. The behavioral health unit opened 54 cases last month. One was referred from an outside agency. Of those, they addressed 53 and they closed 43. And of those, 15 were self-initiated and 38 were referred from within the police department. The training division held 11 classes total. And through those 11 classes, 33 officers were trained, and attached you will see the particular printout on the training. And also, if we could add, and I apologize, this was not in your minutes packet, over the weekend, the traffic unit and community policing focused on unnecessary noise and loud muffler violations. So far this month, we have 19 infractions for that. And also something we started focusing on at the chief's request was the I'm sure you might have noticed juveniles riding bicycles in the middle of the street in a dangerous fashion. So over the weekend, they were able to make one stop and issue a juvenile summons on that. And the bike was taken for safekeeping. We had another one today, and over the weekend, the community police officers were able to speak with a group of juveniles that they found that were not in the street, but they saw them gathered together and with a bunch of bikes. So they talked to them and warned them about the dangers of riding basic bicycles the way they do, some juveniles do in the streets, and the possible risk for that, aside from injury, being issued a juvenile summons and having your bicycle temporarily seized. So it appears that the word has gotten out with other children about that, and hopefully we will see a sharp drop in that. And that is all I have.
Thank you. It was a good report,
Excellent.
especially the 19 unnecessary noise.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Commissioners?
I agree. Thank you so much, Deputy Chief. And it was really, I think, very thorough, and I appreciate the work you put into that.
It's an incredible team effort, as with everything that we do here. No surprise at all.
I just want to comment on the traffic unit at Soundview Avenue at Cliff Street, and in conjunction with the traffic authority, that those stop signs that were placed at all 4 intersection entrances has done a tremendous job in reducing the number of accidents in that area, and has really made it easy to cross that particular intersection without a fear of harm to yourself. So
Excellent.
we've done a good job. You all are continuing to do a good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With regard to the juveniles riding those bicycles in the streets, and I guess one of the major concerns I've always seen is having them to be able to lift the bicycles up and ride on one back wheel and not really caring where they are. What do you actually end up doing with the kids and with regard to not only them, but their parents or whatever?
So the juveniles receive a juvenile summons, and then the bike, we temporarily take the bike and hold it under safekeeping, and contact is made with the parents more as an educational type basis. Because like you mentioned, when they ride, sometimes it's just amazing how they weave in and out of traffic. It's not an issue if they ride following the rules of the road, but they tend not to do that. They tend to go in and out of traffic and go up on the back tire, as you mentioned, which they can lose control at any second and be hit by a vehicle, which is really the main concern that everyone here at the PD has with that. So we talk to them, education, speak with the parents, and temporarily take their bicycle.
Okay, I could understand you doing all that, and not only that, really letting them know that their lives are at stake as well as other people.
Absolutely, it could cause an accident. Even if they're not injured, hopefully that never happens. Or even riding in that fashion with pedestrians, even on a sidewalk, you could easily run into a pedestrian.
Really?
What is the charge on the summons or on the juvenile summons?
Oh, that I believe we could do. It's either breach of peace or disorderly conduct on a juvenile summons for interfering with traffic in the roadway. Would be something that could fall in.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you. Now we're on to the administration report, Deputy Chief Lepore.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. Happy Tax Day.
Yes,
Oh, gosh, please.
that's an
Okay.
oxymoron, by the way.
Right. Okay, so for the administrative report, with our grants and inspections, we had the retirement of Lieutenant Tom Ronzinski and the promotion of Lieutenant David Orr. So with that transition, Lieutenant Orr spent many hours and days this past month with Lieutenant Ronzinski on training and transition for all the position responsibilities. They included a 30-hour training course with Daigle Law Group for internal affairs investigations. And then he had separate training for grant scheduling and reporting requirements to include state and federal websites and their understandings. He received training for MPD staff inspections and all other pertinent information and position requirements. We had 6 DUI grant hires for the month to combine with patrol for 15 DUI arrests. We had JAG high visibility grant hires for March, which included St. Patrick's Day weekend. They had a pub crawl the night before, and then there was the 17th, the celebration on that day. And they're still awaiting the Safe Neighborhood Grant application, still pending. We're still awaiting award notification. For staff inspections, there were no staff inspections conducted in the month of March. The next one is due in April, and that will be combined dispatch that will get done this month. The MPD annual report was completed and is posted on the city website for everybody's viewing. For the crime scene unit, we had 118 persons fingerprinted, 54 of which were pistol permits. They had 22 case requests for DVDs and photos. They had 7 cases processed for evidence and 111 patrol cases processed for a camera or photographic downloads of scenes. For the professional standards and accreditation division, the state rolled out the new bail interview notification procedures as part of the all going digital, and we're still awaiting the evidence submission phase. PowerTime software training and utilization is in progress for patrol supervisors. Both patrol supervisors and officers will be using a website or an app now for their schedule and their daily logs. This app will have the assigned posts, any vacation, sick time, and hiring for the shift. So it's all going digital, and we're going to get away from all the paper. We're running parallel with the software and the paper process just to make sure we get all the bugs out for the next bid for May 1st. For body and dashboard cameras, we've had no issues. We had 1 camera that was returned to Axon for repair. We had 29 new requests for cases from outside people, lawyers, insurance, or court. We had 4 discs burned for access. And the Axon trial agreement contract has been reviewed by Corporation Counsel, was submitted back to Axon Legal for their change requirements. For accreditation, we had our CALIA, the 2nd year inspection was conducted in March. This included approximately 120 standards that were reviewed via online, the Power DMS software. 4 critical areas of performance interviews were conducted. Those were the Canine Unit, the Behavioral Health, Mental Illness Unit, Property and Traffic Divisions. There was a couple minor corrections that were made to the 24 of the files. All files passed inspection except for 2 standards that are into progress for review next year, which we will be writing new directive on. It's a new policy that was coming out. And that is all I have for administrative.
Nice report.
Wow.
I think the police department's in pretty good shape. I don't know if everything seems to be getting done professionally and a lot of activity, and everybody seems to be on top of what needs to happen. So congratulations to everybody.
Deputy Chief Lepore, can you briefly elaborate on the Safe Neighborhoods grant application that's still waiting?
Yes. So we put an application in, and they have come back and they've asked for several identifications in areas. They wanted to know, like, they've come back with follow-up questions like, are we going to have the units, is there going to be electricity for them? How are they going to be powered by solar? What the location is? So they've come back with several follow-up questions and we've provided all the information and everything that they've wanted. So we're still just waiting to hear back from them.
What will this do, at least for the community? I mean, when you hear safe neighborhood, I don't know enough about it. I would greatly appreciate if you could just tell me more.
Yes. So we have applied for the Safe Neighborhood Grant, and that will provide us with LPR readers stationed in certain, which are license plate readers that are going to
Okay.
be stationed in certain areas of the city. But what they are going to do is these readers are going to be in conjunction with other cities. Okay, so they all, like Darien has them, Westport, I believe, has them, and there's a couple other cities in the Fairfield County area. So if we're looking for a car, or if it comes down like Connecticut Avenue, or it comes off of I-95, we can actually track it going through if it's going to be going from city to city, and we can actually, these LPR readers are going to be able to talk to the other towns, and we'll be able to combine our investigation efforts.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Deputy Chief Lepore,
Yes, sir.
what do you mean when you say 4 discs burned with videos and 29 new requests for case videos? What are you referring to?
Yes, sir. Okay, so in our records office, people come in for if they have a case that's ongoing, say an arrest or an accident, or they have some sort of a domestic case and they're going to court or anything like that, or any call for service that we go on as officers or at the police department, you can come in and you can, under the Freedom of Information Act, you can come in and you can request a copy of the officer's report and also a copy of the body camera video from the officer or the dashboard camera video. So we have people that come in, lawyers' offices, insurance companies, neighbors, or any residents that want a copy of a report that they've called the police on, they can come in and get it. So we burn actual copies of the videos from the body camera or dashboard camera to DVD discs and to provide them to the public, along with any paper report that if they have requested it.
Are there videos in all cars, all police cars?
All
Dashboard?
our main patrol cars, yes. All our marked primary police cars, yes. The administrative cars do not all have them.
Are they required to in the administrative cars?
No,
Or
they are not, sir.
okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, thank you. It brings us to personnel matters, Chief.
Yes, Mayor. I got a request from Officer Stephen Green, who was a lateral transfer. We just swore him in about 4 weeks ago for his stipend for his bachelor's degree. He presented a University of New Haven diploma, a bachelor's of science as a paramedic. He has received and he is requesting permission for the collective bargaining agreement to get the $1,500 stipend.
Can I get a motion on that?
I should say just the stipend. I'm right now, I'm unaware of the exact amount. I would just say the stipend allowed by the collective bargaining agreement.
Can I
I
get a
move-
motion? Okay,
I
Commissioner
move
Kelly.
approval. I move approval of a stipend for bachelor's degree for Stephen Green.
Any questions from the commission?
And we do we state an amount? Do we have, I mean, I'm looking at here, I just want to be clear.
It's covered in the collective bargaining agreement. So he's entitled to a bachelor's degree stipend, just like if somebody had a master's, they'd also be entitled to a stipend, but it's the amounts are covered in the collective bargaining.
Oh,
unit.
okay, got it. Okay. Thank you.
Any further comments or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one is the tuition reimbursement. Chief, you want to just go through that and then we'll take a motion?
Yeah, Sergeant Nate Polino, he has an associate's degree. He's currently attending University of New Haven. Degree sought Bachelor in Cyber Threat Intelligence and Financial Crimes Investigation. The course taken, Foundations of Money Laundering. It's a 3-credit course at $1,470. Total cost is $4,410. He is asking for 50% of that, $2,205. In May of 2023, the Police Commission gave prior approval for reimbursement for this course at their monthly meeting. He has provided all the paperwork. He has the receipt, the account statement,
Can I get a motion?
and it's great.
So move with regard to the reimbursement of $2,205.
Okay. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is course approval for Officer Michael McCary.
Yes, Michael Macari is requesting approval to take 4 courses in the summer 1, 2024, summer 2, 2024, Sacred Heart University. He's pursuing his Master's of Public Administration, Law, Society, and Ethics, fundraising for nonprofits, communications and crisis management, and then his capstone seminar. So he's trying to wrap up his master's.
Okay, could I get a motion on that?
I
So-
move approval.
Okay, any comment or discussion or questions?
The only comment I have is that he's a real go-getter. I remember he finished his 4-year bachelor's in 3 years.
Yeah.
He hasn't stopped since he started.
Is he like that in patrolling? Or does anyone know?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor of course approval for Officer McCary?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, Chief, complimentary letters.
Yes, we have a letter to Sergeant Everett from the Family Care Visiting Nurse Association. Wanted to thank the department for taking the time to come present at our mandatory meeting. Officer Ryan Everts was knowledgeable in the area of and put an excellent safety presentation for our nurses. He was engaged and answered all the questions that our nurses had. They're revamping their safety procedures and policies to make our nurses feel safer while they are out of the community. The police presentation added an additional layer of support and preparedness for our nurses. They wanted to appreciate our time and thank you for all the help we do in the community. Safe for all.
Congratulations and thank you to Officer Everts. He is a very experienced and knowledgeable individual, so we appreciate that. Commissioners?
It's always great to hear commendations coming in, of course, of our staff, and so this is no lesson for sure. Officer Ryan Evers is very much appreciated in the qualifications he has and his knowledge and his ability to put forth, safety presentations to the community.
Okay, that's the only item, that's the last item on the agenda. The next meeting is May 20th, 2024. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Before
I'm sorry?
Before that motion to adjourn, I'd like to thank the chief for sending us a copy of the annual report for 2023. It is excellently done. And there's just a couple of things that I need to ask you questions about. But that'll be personal.
Okay.
It would probably grammar related.
Possibly.
Okay. That went through a lot of rewrites. We tried our best.
just possibly.
Okay,
You know
then
my
you get-
frustration.
Give me a call tomorrow.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 5:08 PM.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adjourn
All in
this
favor?
meeting.
Aye.
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 We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Have a great
Thank
week, everyone.
You too.
Good night.